לא, זה על ריק, רגע. זה לא על פול.
זה על פול.
לא.
אתם לא רואים אותי?
זה על פול. זה על פול. נכון?
הנה עכשיו.
Wait, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Oh no.
I'm an
Okay.
idiot. Yeah, I think a lot of people here would agree.
No.
Yeah, but you were supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah, I'm
Tel Aviv.
sorry. Yeah, I know. I missed the bus. And I mean, yeah, I've been having a good time and I kind of overslept and, you know, this and that.
So you came all the way to but you missed the bus.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've been like, yeah, it's a longer story than that, but basically I missed the bus. Yeah, I just kind of like, yeah, I couldn't read the Hebrew very well. And I went there, I went to the bus station, but it's like, it's a mess, that bus station. So, you know, and also I barely got there on time anyways, so I couldn't find the right bus. And yeah, it's, I mean, Tel Aviv's amazing. I've been having such a good time. Is this an eshid? Is that what this is called?
Eshel.
Eshel.
Eshel with an L. Okay.
L. Okay.
So, okay, without further ado, Andy Bichlbaum from the S-Men, who isn't here after all. Yes.
I'm very close. I'm very close.
I won't interrupt. Go right ahead.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were going to ask me a question or something first, but yeah, no, I just wanted to you know, say hello. I'm really sorry I'm not there. Slicha. I meant to come, but you know, Tel Aviv is what it is, and it's hard to always make it out of Tel Aviv if you're here. So, but I am in Tel Aviv, and if anybody is headed back through Tel Aviv on the, you know, after the conference, I'll be here for a week. So, you know, love to meet and chat about things. But yeah, so I hear there's a kind of a gentrification problem with the art museum there. Is that, did I get that right? There's a concern about a Swiss company that's like using the art museum or something.
That's the gist.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't study very well what's going on, but I mean, as soon as I heard it, I just thought, yeah, that's not really my issue. You know, I mean, I get that you as artists might be concerned about, you know, a Swiss pharmaceutical company or whatever it is taking over, but I don't see it as very important from my own perspective, especially here in Israel. You know, there's some other forms of gentrification that are happening, and you know, I think they're a little more important, let's say, than some art city museum being taken over by some Swiss company. Like, I mean, the Israeli industry itself is taking over territory and work and people in the occupied territories with Silicon Wadi here, you know, in Jerusalem, which I probably also won't make it to. I meant to go visit Jerusalem, but I just love Tel Aviv. So, yeah, I mean, you know, Silicon Wadi, they basically, as I understand it, they're basically building what we call in the US maquiladoras, like these places where Mexicans can come and work for American companies without actually being admitted into America. And here in Israel, it seems like that's happening in the occupied territories. Like, Israeli companies are building these places where Palestinians can work, and they're calling it Silicon Wadi, giving it a really nice, you know, Arab-friendly name, but it's actually just a place where Palestinians can work without actually being admitted into Israel. which is a form of gentrification and a form of takeover by industry that seems a lot more egregious, a lot more evil than what's happening there in Arad by, you know, some Swiss company. I mean, we're talking about actual Israeli companies doing this in the occupied territories. And, you know, and speaking of the occupied territories, I would call the entire occupation a form of gentrification. I mean, the scale is completely disproportionate to what's happening in Arad. Like, you know, I see the occupation as the ultimate form of gentrification. I mean, maybe not ultimate. I guess the ultimate form might be the Holocaust, but maybe we shouldn't go there. You know, but they wanted to get rid of a people to improve the environment. That's, you know, maybe that could be considered gentrification too. You know, if you want to contain a people in a little place that you decide they should be, that's definitely a form of gentrification. The alternative is expelling, or, you know, doing what they did back then.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you. Holocaust is a form of gentrification.
Well-
We're following.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, that, you know, I'm going a little farther, but I want to say, like, you know, the occupation in Israel is certainly a form of gentrification, like containing a people within an area so that they're not in another area is not that far from liquidation or, you know, expelling. And it's, you know, and, you know, I wouldn't be going here with you guys because I'm sensitive to, you know, this place. And, you know, I've been here before. I spent a year here a long time ago. I grew up Jewish. I speak Hebrew, or I used to speak really good Hebrew, by the way. I used to speak it so well you wouldn't know I wasn't Israeli for a couple minutes. But, you know, so I care about this place, but I wouldn't be saying all this like, you know, this is like on this scale of violence and evil, that, you know, we have to talk about the H word. But, you know, the fact is there are solutions, and it doesn't have to be this way. And, you know, I've also seen, like, you talking about degentrification on the website. I think I saw the word degentrification.
It was responsible gentrification.
Responsible gentrification, that's it, you know. And I could see that as, like, you know, art could be involved in some responsible gentrification with the occupation. There is a form of, like, being with the situation in a responsible way. And I think artists could be a part of that. And, you know, since you guys are artists for the most part there, and you're concerned about the gentrification of art by this Swiss whatever, you might consider ways that the creative technologies that you have at your disposal could go into responsible gentrification, a responsible approach to the West Bank, to the occupation. And, you know, and like, artists are great at spreading ideas. Artists are great at getting ideas across where ideas aren't. And there's one idea that I've heard that I have to say I'm completely captivated by, that's not super widespread. I don't see it a lot, but I learned about it a few years ago when I was visiting. I was visiting Jerusalem, which is why I'm not going there this time, because, you know, it's a disappointment. And that's the, you know, in English, it's a land for all, Eretz LeKulam. And it also has a name in Hebrew. It's 2 states, 1 homeland also. And I don't know, the website is alandforall.org. And when I discovered this about 10 years ago, I thought this was an amazing idea and totally doable and totally would work. And I see that nothing is advanced with it. It's just kind of sitting there. It was founded by somebody from B'Tselem. as I remember, and it's the idea that, you know, basically you have these two peoples, right? That's the problem. You have the Jewish people and you have the Arab people, the Palestinians, and they both have to live in harmony somehow. And like the Palestinians don't give a shit about the West Bank. They don't like it there. It's fucking desert, you know? Maybe there's a couple of tombs or this or that, but they don't want to be there. They want to be in Haifa, and they want to be in the north, in the Galilee. They want to be where all of their houses were demolished. And the Jews, meanwhile, a number of these weird Jews that occupy the West Bank, they seem to really, you know, want to be there because some holy something or other was buried in some tomb. Probably isn't even the case, but there's a wonderful solution. Just let everybody live everywhere, and, you know, have it be two states though, so that this whole like demographic fear, like, oh my God, the Palestinians, they reproduce so fast and they're going to outnumber the Jews, and that idea isn't even there. Like, there isn't even that worry anymore, because it's like, you know, there's two states and they each have their own schools, they each have their own whatchamacallits, their, you know, their own policings, whatever, but they're in the same territory. So the Palestinians get to live in, for example, the Palestinians that want to get to go back to the houses that were demolished, and those houses can be reconstructed at public expense. And, you know, whatever Jews want to live in some godforsaken part of the desert next to some tomb can go do that. And, you know, Mazal Tov. There's, you know, that is it's basically, I think they also refer to it as Israelstein. So, you know, the two peoples get to inhabit Israelstein together. There's, you know, it's two separate states in one land mass, or let's call it a land scrap because it's pretty small, the whole thing anyways. But that's my 2 cents. I think artists could have a tremendous role in spreading this, what seems to me, as an outside observer who knows a lot about the inside, seems to me like a tremendous idea with a lot of potential, and artists could be a big part of spreading this idea, and getting it out there to a wider public, because right now I don't think it's really known by a whole lot of people. And I know you're kind of lacking hope, and and that's maybe why you worry about some stupid Swiss issue in ARAD, whatever, you know, gentrifying art, who cares? Like, maybe that's why you focus on that instead of this much more important and much bigger and much crazier problem that's also gentrification. I get that you're lacking hope. Israelis are, but as artists, if you can get excited about an idea, you can spread that idea. You have the tools that other people don't have. I mean, even advertisers don't have it because they aren't allowed. They can't do the kind of things that artists can do. Artists can do anything, you know, with creative tools. So if you believe in an idea, you can spread it in ways that no one else can. And, you know, frankly, I, as a sort of artist, you know, think that Israelstein, a land for all, Eretz L'Kulam, two states, one homeland, is an idea worth spreading. Over there, at least, I think it would work. There are reasons that, you know, right now it's not going to happen because you have a near fascist government, because of this and that. Okay, whatever. But it's a good idea, and good ideas don't always come like today or tomorrow. Sometimes they come in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like, if 10 years ago people had started this, maybe when everybody took over the streets, was that a year ago, 6 months ago, you know, the giant protests over the Supreme Court thing, and there were other giant protests against Netanyahu's government. Maybe one of those would have led to some conditions around this. Maybe those could have focused also. Maybe if everybody knew about this idea and thought it was a possibility and thought, why not? maybe there could have been some pressure applied around that. You know, the way these things work is not like, oh yeah, this has to be a good idea right now. It has to happen right now. It's more a long-term thing. So you artists have a responsibility, a moral responsibility to me and all Jews in the world, basically, as well as to yourselves, and especially to the Palestinians. And, you know, if you believe in God, to God, which I don't, by the way, but whatever, that doesn't matter. To promote that idea and to make it, to give it the best possibility of succeeding. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'm sorry to insult your concerns about the Swiss company. It's like, whatever, you know, I don't mean to. I'm sure you have, you know, you have good reasons to be worried about this. But that's my 2 cents. Pay attention to the important things first, then worry about the Swiss company coming in to take over. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Any, yeah, I'm happy to take questions or whatever, you know, argue.
So
I know you
is
guys
there
love
any, does
to
anyone
argue.
have any, I don't know if you'll hear them, but I can help transcribe or something. Does anyone have a question for Andy Bichlbaum?
Bichlbaum.
Visit here in Arad. No, I want to visit Jerusalem. Come here to Arad.
Someone asked again why you couldn't, why don't come visit Arad? That it's very nice here, and even, so you're not going to make it to Jerusalem, but you could at least, you know, maybe spend
Few days.
yeah, maybe make use of this week and still come by, even though the conference is over.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
The Dead Sea.
Yeah,
No,
and you
I-
can come by the Dead Sea.
I love tons of things in Israel, and I'm sure that, you know, Arad would be beautiful to visit also. But like, yeah, I'm. That's, you know, it's all on me. I just got stuck in Tel Aviv, basically, for now. But I've been to the Dead Sea. I've been to Haifa. I was on a little kibbutz called Baham in the north a long time ago. I've been to Kinneret, and I'm definitely going to be visiting around. There's a lot of things. I'm going to try to go to Ramallah and see these places in the West Bank that I haven't actually visited. I've visited a few. You know, I don't necessarily want to reveal my age, but I was here in 1983, just before the outbreak of the first Intifada, and I walked from what? Oh yeah,
Nothing.
okay. And I walked from Harat Sofim in Jerusalem, where I was studying for a year, to across to Jericho, and my roommate and I just walked. We just hiked. It was only, you know, 10 miles or so. And you could do that at the time, and it was wonderful. And I also took buses. I got on Arab buses sometimes, and we rode around. Like we went through Nablus. I went on one bus that stopped in Nablus, and by the time I had gotten to Nablus, I was having conversations with people on the bus, and one of them said, "Oh, you're Jewish," which was unusual at the time. It was unusual to, you know, see Jews on Arab buses in 1983 even. But, you know, so everybody was talking to me and like, wow. And one of them said, you might want to go see these weird Jews that live here in Nablus. You might want to take a visit since you're Jewish. I mean, you might be interested. So I got off the bus and I walked up the hill and I met the Shomronim, who, whoa, what a trip. Anyways, yeah, I've traveled around Israel quite a bit. I'm looking forward to actually trying to get to Nablus again, seeing if I can. But one of the reasons I haven't been to Jerusalem this trip yet, I was there, you know, I think it was a few years ago when I was last in Israel, and it was just very depressing, you know, because the walls, you know, I used to go from Harat Sofim to the Ir Ha'atika every whenever I wanted, which was quite often. I'd just wander around and, go through these fields and, once I stopped and I started picking weeds, just, I don't know why. I thought they looked like they were, I tasted one and I liked the way it tasted, and I picked some more, and this little girl came up and said, why are you picking, she said in Arabic, like, why are you picking the hashish? And I was like, what? This is hashish? And she said, well, yeah, that's hashish. And I took it back and I said, this is hashish. And a Palestinian in my dorm said, oh no, that's Arabic for weed. So anyways, I could tell many stories from then just to prove that I know Israel. But it's very depressing now to see Jerusalem, after, like, I used to wander around and have adventures, and now it's like, you can't possibly have an adventure there. Like, it's a locked city. Everything's like this. And the only way around that is to tear down all the walls and have one homeland for all the people, which is totally doable. It will be doable. So
Can I ask a meta question, like on a meta level? Because you are, at the end of the day, Andy Bichlbaum of the Yes Men, and we are talking about artist responsibility.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, I mean, we're picking up from this conference a lot of mixed signals, a lot of mixed responses. There's some anger at this event and the way that it was set up. There's a feeling of people being misled. There are strong feelings about, I don't know, just shoving harsh truths in people's faces, distorting truths, even to the point that people feel lied to. And I was just wondering, as a disciple of your work, because hands down, we are just following your footsteps. You wrote the playbook, I think, on a lot of things that we have attempted in our way. I'm not saying you're doing the same thing. How do you feel, how do you deal with these situations when you put together events that are based on a fallacy, that are based on half-truisms? What is your conviction? Where is your artistic responsibility vis-a-vis your artistic license?
Oh.
And I dare you to somehow connect that to the occupation.
Oh yeah, totally. Hello. Nice challenge. Yeah, I think the responsibility is 100%. And, if there's something that you need to say and you believe that if you believe that you have an obligation to say something, then you have to say it, and you have to use all the tools at your disposal to say it. As long as you're ultimately banking on people knowing the truth. And this is a big difference between this approach and the right-wing version of this approach, where you fool people and you hope to achieve change by the lie itself. So if you lie to people and make something up and it's not true and they find out and they're angry, sure, let them be angry, whatever. But they have found out, and your job isn't to be their friend. Your job is to communicate the truth, or what you see as the truth. And so if that means, making people angry a bit, whatever, as long as it's revealed that you pulled their leg, as long as it's revealed that this was false, it's okay. Because, and pretty quickly, there's another kind of lying, which is, has been practiced by the CIA and the Mossad and, every spy agency in the world, as well as governments like Netanyahu's, by fascists of all sorts for many decades. And that's lying in order to achieve change through the lies. Like, the Jews are no good. That's a good lie. Maybe we aren't, but I think we're pretty okay. You achieve you achieve some results through that kind of lie. The point wasn't to break the wall and say, see, you believe that, it's actually not true, Jews are just fine. That wasn't the goal. Palestinians want to kill us all. That's another lie that is used to convince a certain number of people that, you know, they should be kept behind walls and walled off from the rest of Israeli society, which should have a lot of security measures everywhere and so on and so forth. And there's no alternative. That's the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie. There is no alternative. And that is a lie that you see on all issues. You see it in Israel with like, there's no alternative. We have to build these stupid walls everywhere. Sorry, we don't like it. Nobody likes it, but we have to do it. There's no alternative. It's an argument that you see in neoliberalism, in large-scale capitalism that is destroying, that has already destroyed a lot of what made the U.S. a great place. That, you know, you see that also in Israel. You see it in the UK with Margaret Thatcher. There is no alternative. Those are words that came out of her mouth. There is no alternative. The only thing worse than capitalism is everything else. You know, this idea that you can't do anything else. And it's such a lie. And the goal of people who promulgate that lie is to make that lie be believed. It's not to put that lie out and then break it. Like people like us, like all of us, I think, who might, you know, bend the truth a little bit, want that truth to be seen at the end. They want the truth, the lie to be broken. And that's the goal. So that's what I would say. I hope that was clear. I know that was a lot of words. It's a very simple answer. It's like reveal the lie. That's what makes it fine.
Do you reveal it? Do you actually at the end of each product say, oh guys, fool you, or do you just let them understand from the context and from the, you know, from the pushback and yeah, the backlash?
Well, you know, it really depends. Usually we usually try to reveal it. Yeah, we usually, 99% of the time we issue a reveal press release, make a big statement, spread that as far and wide as possible in all sorts of formats, by video, writing, announcements, whatever is possible, social media, I guess. That's we almost always have done that. Sometimes it hasn't been necessary. Sometimes it just blows up so completely that, you know, but the goal for us at least is to get press around an important issue and get it out there into the world, you know, maybe on social media, but mainly by the mainstream press. And so you really want to take this thing and package it and say, here's this thing that happened. Look at this. It's the most important part of the project for us a lot of the time. It's taking it, writing it up really clearly. That's the first step. Then putting together a video, if possible, because that, you know, videos are easier to look at. And also videos are good for TV. You know, you want this on TV as well. So we kind of try to make TV friendly stuff. And we've had some successes with this. Sometimes we've gotten the TV to cover things that they just wouldn't have otherwise, because there's some really funny content or spectacular content or something bizarre that is not expected or whatever. So that's the answer. We reveal it.
I have a revelation.
Oh yeah?
I really need to pee.
Oh.
So I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Yoav, if you want, or Shaloma, or if you want to take control for 1 minute, I'm not kidding. Enjoy Tel Aviv. Thank you, and Bichlbaum.
Should I stay or happy peeing, by the way? But should I stay or leave?
Yeah, thank you. Yoav is coming. Come,
okay,
and then decide what to.
Okay. Enjoy your pee. That goes to everybody, by the way. I can't really see you, but I would hope that anybody who has to pee really enjoys their pee when they do it.
Andy.
Hey, are you Yoav?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, we've discussed. So thank you very much. And I guess the meta discussion we had now will lead to our exposure of our lies. And this was a nice segue to the lies that we have spread in the media, and now we expose them.
Oh, you've been lying?
Shocked.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? About what?
about a Swiss company.
There, what, it decided to pull out?
Yeah, in a way, there is no Swiss company. I'm sorry to tell you.
Wait, you fooled me.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I'm so angry.
the trickster.
I'm so angry. I've been fooled.
Yeah,
gonna- Oh no. Does that mean that all the lies have to be revealed?
you said it, right? We follow your footsteps.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Thank you. That's really, I'm honored, but wow. Okay. Well, you know, this tamarisk, this eshel is it's a Middle Eastern tree. It grows in Tel Aviv. Yeah. That's not a lie. It means that therefore I'm in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, you said it enough times that it's almost believable.
I missed the bus. I couldn't read the Hebrew.
Yeah, you can only speak Hebrew, not read it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
אני מדבר, אני לא קורא.
תודה רבה.
תודה רבה לכם. ובהצלחה.
Everyone shouts thank you. And
Oh.
they're clapping their
Thank you to you all, and congratulations on the Swiss company thing. I'm so relieved for you. Also that, you know, a land for all, 2 states, 1 homeland, Eretz Lekulam, that proposal is finally being accepted.
This
So
is not a lie, right? This is not a lie.
no, it's finally being accepted. Well, the lie part is that it's finally being accepted, but but the proposal is totally 100% real. And it's a totally 100% sincere proposal. And it's a totally good proposal. And I sincerely 100% believe that. Hi. So yeah, in my opinion, that proposal will become reality one day. And one way to make a proposal become reality is to show it as a reality. So like if I were in Israel right now, I might issue a newspaper or figure out some way of spreading the news that this became reality, even though it technically hasn't yet, and might not for a few years. I would spread the news that it has. We did that with Obama when he was elected, and we announced the war is over, and we announced a bunch of things that could happen now that Obama was elected, you know, and some of those things became true, not because of our newspaper, but, you know, it was a way of spreading a lot of good ideas, like nationalization of oil, so that we could dismantle it. You know, things like good healthcare, education. You guys have a great education system. Ours sucks. You know, so like announcing that we had an education system like other developed countries have, and things like that. We did that all in this big newspaper and spread it around. In Israel, if I were there now, if I lived there, I would make a newspaper spreading this idea that this 2 states, 1 homeland, Eretz Kulam proposal was finally being accepted into the Knesset to be under discussion. I'd start with it being credible, because like there's no way that a fascist government is going to decide to do this, but to, you know, start it on its way into like it's called prefigurative work. It's another kind of work that we do besides this kind with the Swiss company that you guys did. You know, like make the you know, just find a few people in the Knesset who might be open to it. Don't tell them, but just like find their names and, you know, use them as the first people, and then show the path to acceptance and implementation and all that. Like start small, maybe, or maybe dream big and then figure out what the first step would be to get there. You know, that would be my suggestion. So with that, yeah.
So I think next time we should do a positive, like fake reality instead of a really negative one. I think that's where we maybe.
It has to be about the occupation.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. I mean, I sincerely don't care that much about art, so unless it's used in the service of something important. So I will be happy to support it if, you know, a thing around the occupation, around Eretz Lekulam, around that I would be super behind. But yeah, anything around art, I'm like, who cares?
We'll be in touch on that.
Okay.
Thank you for your, we'll see.
There are some other collaborators in Israel who might be interested in working with you guys on that too.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure. We'll get
Very
back to you.
Okay, get back to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody get back to me. Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah. And so sorry if I was rude earlier. I was.
No, it's
I
fine.
wasn't bluffing.
Yeah, sure. Sam.
When were you rude?
When you had to pay.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was great.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we
Everyone
have to
wants-
finish. Thank you very much. תודה רבה.
תודה רבה.
Bye,
לכולם.
Andy.
Bye. Bye bye.